Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Glasscast. Today, I'm going to be starting a new segment. It's going to be about 5 minutes, 10 minutes, maybe. We'll see how long it goes. But we're going to be talking about the New York Jets, specifically just about the Jets. Where do they go as a franchise? So let's start off. They're 0-6. Let's go through their games really quickly. I think everybody, after their first loss, even Jets fans were very optimistic about how this team was. Justin Fields looked like a great quarterback. The team just looked like well put through. So that 0-1 start wasn't terrible, but then honestly, it just didn't stop going downhill from there. They almost beat Tampa Bay, which is Tampa Bay's, in my personal rankings, their top 5 team, top 3 actually. They almost beat Tampa Bay. Close game against Miami, but they haven't won a game. They're 0-6, and being 0-6 just shows this franchise. This franchise is just, it's disgusting. Woody Johnson cannot put together a good team, and I will say, you bring in a new coach, you're trying new things, trying to get it to work. I understand, right? But this is what I'm going to go over specifically. They brought in Justin Fields to try to resurrect their team. And at the end of the day, Justin Fields could have been a good quarterback. He has all the intangibles to be a great NFL quarterback. He can throw the ball anywhere he wants. He can run the ball. He's good pocket presence, good height. But a couple little things that just stand out to me a lot when I watch film, because you play on the Bears, used to, so I'm pretty well known in his area because I wanted him to be great, and he just never was. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is his footwork. He struggled with his footwork his entire NFL career. In college, it didn't really show up because he was doing a lot of easy things with great receivers, with a great offensive line, and a great team surrounding him. So he didn't really have a lot of problems in college specifically to that footwork thing. But in the NFL, you have to get rid of the ball quickly. You have to move quickly. You have to read a defense, and I'm going to get to there in a point. That's also ties into his footwork. But yeah, he just can't. He could never figure out his feet. It felt like his mind was not adjusting with his feet. He couldn't really figure it out because I'm going to start talking about his reading the defenses, how he reads the defense. He was always kind of second-guessing himself in the NFL. In college, he was letting it sling a lot. But he always struggled on intermediate throws, just simple reads, very simple reads. So he's a great quarterback when you give him this read and this read, right? But at the end of the day, there's not 2 reads on an NFL team. The first thing you have to do is when you get set, you have to look at the defense. You have to figure out if they're in man, they're in zone, they're going to blitz. You have to figure that out. He was never great at that. He was never great at calling audibles and switching. So he's kind of always had to be like coached. And as a quarterback, you have to coach your offense at a lot of times. You have to change plays a lot. And he can't really do that. He's had the big money plays. He can run. Everybody knows he can run, though. You know, he has to be. There's not a quarterback in the NFL that is just running the ball sustainably. You know what I mean? You have to be able to pass the ball as a passer. So the problem is with him, he has one read, and then it just kind of feels like he freaks out. He thinks that he can't handle the pressure. He can't stay in the pocket and make a throw and get hit. He is not comfortable with that. He wants to get out of the pocket and do something crazy. So he can never. He's always had the priority of not getting sacked. I'm going to run. So he definitely needs to focus if he wants to get better on being able to take that hit and standing in the pocket and absolutely just reading a defense and not resorting to running all the time. At times you can resort to running. It's important to have a quarterback that's mobile. But unfortunately, that's just not how the NFL is today. So he needs to be able to read defenses. And I don't think he can do it anymore. I think Justin Fields will be a great backup quarterback, and he can have his moments of shine. But overall, expanding through a whole season, expanding through a career, he cannot be successful because he can't read a defense successfully, and his footwork is not good. So that's my take on Justin Fields. With the rest of the Jets, Woody Johnson hired Aaron Glenn. He brought in a whole new staff. You're 0-6. At the end of the day, you bring in a new staff. Maybe you lose a couple. Like, you can't be 0-6. This always happens with this team. It just feels like detriment. It's just terrible. So they need to win more games. Obviously, that's obviously always the important thing. But I think the mere fact that their defense is just awful with how many pieces they have is disgusting. I'm going to go through the numbers now. 34 points let up, 30 points let up, 29 points let up, 27 points let up, 37 points let up, and then 13 points let up against Denver. Should have won that game. But, that's just terrible. This Jets team's supposed to have a good defense. They've had good defense in the past. They have a good defensive line. They've built it throughout the draft, through years and years and years of developing and being terrible as an organization. And you can't even build a good defense. That's really, really, really questioning. That does not make sense, because this team should have a good defense and not have a good offense, but it's been quite the opposite. Justin Fields has scored a lot of points in his garbage time when they've been losing. So the defense needs to step up. This whole organization, I don't even know where to go as a fan. I feel terrible for all these fans. As a Bears fan, I've been through hard times, but this is a hard time because you have no idea what you're supposed to do at all. You really have no clue. It's really frustrating. There has to be some bright spot. Every team you think that was terrible and got to be good, like the Buffalo Bills, they just had that Josh Allen. It's always about quarterback. But they always draft quarterbacks. And they ruin the quarterbacks. They need to find something to build on, because it just feels like they're not building on anything. Sauce Gardner, whatever. Quinnen Williams, stud. But, you need to find something core to change the culture. Ben Johnson's changed the culture in Chicago. Aaron Glenn has not changed the culture in New York. It just feels like the same old Jets. And it doesn't even feel like a real NFL team, because it's just awful to watch these games. It's awful to see this team play, because they always just let up, and I feel bad for the fans. I'd say, Woody, you need to completely change everything you're doing about this team. Trade a rookie away, man. Trade a star away. Just do something. You need to just do something crazy, do something insane to just give some hope to the team. It just feels like you keep digging a deeper hole every single time. Like that Justin Fields signing, you're supposed to be good this year and everything. You had Aaron Rodgers, but that doesn't work at the end of the day. It just doesn't work to bring in these guys that just they're end of the career Rodgers, and you didn't build around him really. But he didn't like the coaching staff. Nobody likes the Jets coaching staff, the GM, anything in their office. So why are they still there? Everyone's always had problems with the New York Jets. You need to get everybody out of office. Maybe you keep Glenn. I like Glenn. He was a really good defensive coordinator with the Lions, and you can build around that. But you need to clean house completely and just change that culture. Teams have done it. And it feels like the Jets are just content with being terrible at football. They don't actually want to change. And that's just struggles. It's a really big question in your mind of the Jets fans. Why are we so content with just being terrible every year? We're not rebuilding anything. We're just sucking every year. So, I'd say clean house. Culture change. Do something crazy. Have a crazy move. Bring in somebody like Micah Parsons for the Packers. I don't even know. You got to do something to absolutely just change the culture, because nobody wants to play for the New York Jets. And the Jets fans don't even want to root for the New York Jets. And the Giants are terrible, but they were terrible, but look what they did. Dart and Scatterboo, that's something. They were terrible, but look what they did. Jets got to find something like that to change their culture. All right, that's my spiel. About 10 minutes. Thank you all for tuning in. If you are tuning in, I'm gonna try to do these, make them a little bit shorter. We'll have some different types of segments. I'm just gonna try things new. I want to get into this business more, and maybe I want to give it my all. I want to try to do this, because if I don't try to do it, then I might regret it later in my life, because I really do enjoy talking about sports with people. So another thing with the Jets, they signed Garrett Wilson on these big contracts. Like, at the end of the day, you got a receiver, you need a quarterback to own the ball, you need a defense to play defense. That's how it is. You need to build the whole team. You can't have all these one spot wonders. You need to build the whole team. So hopefully the Jets can turn around at some point, because I feel bad for the fans. But thank you for tuning in to Glasscast. I'll be back. Comment down below or anything on Instagram if you guys want me to talk about a specific topic, any sport. I will dig deep into it. If you guys would like me to do that, that'd be great. So yeah, just let me know.